Hey, it's your real estate geek, Andrew Finney. So today we're back again, continuing our home buying guide, 22 steps for your success with episode number 1, renting versus buying. Perhaps one of the best examples of this that I can think of is a family that came to me in the spring of 2016. Now, what makes this family so unique is they're a family of 5 living in a 1-bedroom. That's right, 1-bedroom apartment for 19 years. I mean, whenever they told me that, I was almost in tears, honestly, because I was thinking, how is that possible in these United States that we have a family of 5 living in a 1-bedroom apartment for 19 years? The mom's name is Maria and the son's name is Antonio. Of course, I changed the names to protect their privacy. That being said, the rest of what I'm going to say is true. So they lived there for 19 years, and one day Antonio went to his mom Maria and said, "Mom, how come in 19 years we have never bought a home?" And his mom said, "Antonio, I really wish that we would have 19 years ago bought our own home. You, your brother, your sisters could have had your own room, and on a 30-year mortgage, after 19 years, we'd almost be paid off already." So he said, "Mom, why didn't we do it?" And she said, "I just didn't know if we were ready. Of course, son, I wanted to be able to buy our family a home. I just didn't know what I was supposed to do, where to go, what was involved, or the process. I was listening to the news. I had heard other people talk about it. Now was a good time. Now wasn't a good time. Rates are too high. Home prices are too high. Home prices are too low. They're going to go lower. And I just decided to stay where we were for our family to make sure that we kept a roof over our head and food in our belly." And he said, "Mom, now that I'm an adult and I have a full-time job, would it be okay with you if I try to get our family a home? Because I know we still intend to live together. We have a really close family, obviously. I mean, pretty super close, living together for 19 years in a 1-bedroom apartment and all." And she said, "Antonio, that would be great." So Antonio reaches out, found me on the internet, on Zillow, looked at some reviews, and said, "I like this guy. I'm going to give him a call." Well, we chatted, Antonio and I, and he told me this story. And again, it's just so heartbreaking and painful just to think of, put yourself in their shoes for a moment. You have a family of 5. You have a mom, 2 brothers, 2 sisters. So the mom and the 2 sisters had lived in the 1-bedroom together, all of them, sleeping in the same bed and everything, using the same bathroom, all that stuff. And then you have the 2 brothers that were living in the living room, essentially like one of those pull-out beds from a couch. And, it's just heartbreaking. It really is. That being said, though, the good news is now today, Maria, Antonio, his brother, 2 sisters now own their own home. They each have their own room, and they couldn't be happier. In the same time, since the spring of 2016 to now, the summer of 2017, their home is appreciated by over $20,000. They're no longer flushing money down the toilet and giving it to somebody else. They now have their monthly mortgage being applied to their mortgage balance and building up equity in themselves. So as they continue to further pay down their mortgage and the homes continue to appreciate, which we know in the United States, historically speaking, will generally appreciate about 3 to 6% a year on a historic average. So that's really good news for a lot of us. So the thing that comes to mind whenever we're talking about renting versus buying and knowing if you're ready is if you're living in a city right now and you plan on being in that city for at least 5 years and you're 18 years old or older, you need to consider buying a home and seeing if that's right for you. Now, I'm not knocking renting or anything by any means. There's definitely different people at different stages of life, different life circumstances that sometimes renting is the best option for them. Maybe they're only going to be living somewhere for 1 to 2 years, and maybe they don't need to buy a home because they're only going to be there for a short amount of time. Or maybe life circumstances have determined that they should probably have an apartment or a rental because they don't want the responsibility of home ownership anymore. So there's a lot of different reasons why people rent, and if that's one of your reasons and that's what you're comfortable with, by all means do what's best for you. The purpose of this video is just for you to know if you're ready to buy a home. And if you are, again, if you're living in the same city and you plan to be there for at least 5 years, consider buying a home. Because what's going to happen is over time you probably have already seen it, and you're going to continue seeing it with rental prices increasing and increasing every single month, where they're going to have a landlord that's going to have a year contract, 3-year contracts or whatever. Let's say that you're paying $1,200 this year, but next year it may be $1,300. And you may be wondering, why is it that rental prices go up at the same time that home prices go up? And that's a great question. The reason is home prices continue to escalate in value. Rents are going to continue to escalate in price as well, because the more expensive homes get, the less people can afford them. So it really becomes down to an affordability issue. And with the rates right now, even though they're going up a bit, they're still historically low. I was just chatting with a real estate agent that was in the real estate market back in the 1980s last week, and they had said, Andrew, what's interesting is right now we have rates in between like 4 and 5%, depending on what kind of loan you're getting and and where you're at, with the city and state and all. And they said, back in the 1980s, I remember buying my first home, Andrew, and we were delighted. We got a 12% interest rate. Can you imagine that? So how fortunate are we to be in a market right now where homes are still in an affordable price range and the interest rates are still low enough that we can still get financing on our new home? So if you're ready to take that leap of faith and find your new home, then tune in next week for episode number 2 with credit scores. We're going to go over how to check your credit score, what to know about your credit score, 3 ways that you could boost your credit score today, and then we're also going to review briefly the 4 main loan types and the credit scores needed for each loan. If you haven't already done so, please go ahead and give us a thumbs up, subscribe now, and share this video with somebody that you think that it will help. And tell me what you're thinking in the comment section below. Look forward to coming back to you next week with credit scores. Enjoy a great week.